welcome. You're watching Express News, where we bring you a quick wrap-up of all that's made headlines during the day from around the world. I'm Samriddhi Goel. Let's begin. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated CIPET, the Institute of Petrochemicals Technology, Jaipur via video conferencing. The Prime Minister said skilled manpower is the need of the hour for one of the fastest growing industries like the petrochemical industry. The Prime Minister said that in this time of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, a high level of skill will not only strengthen India, but will also play a major role in achieving the resolve of self-reliant India. The Prime Minister also laid the foundation stone of 4 new medical colleges in Banswara, Sirohi, Hanumangarh and Dausa districts of Rajasthan. These medical colleges have been sanctioned under the centrally sponsored scheme for establishment of new medical colleges attached with the district referral hospitals. In his address, the Prime Minister said the Government of India is working on a new national health policy to transform the health sector of the country. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan to Ayushman Bharat and now Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission are a part of this policy. The Prime Minister underlined the need for expanding the setting up of the All India Institute of Medical Sciences across the country. He said India is moving towards the expansion of AIIMS from the present 6 to more than 22 AIIMS. The PM said to make the health infrastructure robust, the government has taken various measures during the last 6 to 7 years. He added more than 170 new medical colleges have been set up already and work is going on to add 100 new medical colleges in the future. The Prime Minister said 58,000 undergraduate and postgraduate medical seats have been increased. The Prime Minister said that life of the poor has become easier today as there is facilities of toilets, electricity and gas connection in their households. On the occasion, the Health and Family Welfare Minister Mansukh Mandavia said the centre is working to strengthen the health infrastructure in the country. Voting has largely been peaceful in Bhawanipur Assembly constituency, where West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is contesting. Mamata Banerjee, who lost from Nandigram constituency in the Assembly elections earlier this year, has to win this by poll to retain the Chief Minister's post. Polling at Shamsherganj and Jangipur seats in Murshidabad also concluded without any violence. Voting in the PIPILI Assembly by poll in Odisha also remained peaceful. There was no report of any untoward incident. Air Marshal Vivek Ram Chaudhary today took charge as the Chief of Air Staff after the incumbent Air Chief Marshal R.K.S. Bhadoria retired. The newly appointed Chief of Air Staff, Air Chief Marshal V.R. Chaudhary, called on Defence Minister Rajnath Singh after formally taking charge. The Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal has said that India is poised to become one of the largest digital markets in the world. Former Punjab CM Captain Amarinder Singh has made it clear he wasn't joining the BJP but had no intention of continuing in Congress, which he said was going downhill with senior leaders completely ignored and not given a choice. The Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav felicitates railway sportspersons who participated and won medals at the Tokyo Olympics 2020. Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav said Railway's sports infrastructure is already there in many small places. They are being improved. He added that efforts will be made to prepare sports infrastructure according to the players. Heavy rains lashed Chennai, and the Indian Meteorological Department has predicted thunderstorms with light to moderate rainfall for the city and its suburbs with generally cloudy skies for the next 48 hours. With the administration of 65,34,306 vaccine doses in the last 24 hours, India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed the landmark of 88 crore as per provisional reports till 7 a.m. today. The recovery of 28,718 patients in the last 24 hours has increased the cumulative tally of recovered patients since the beginning of the pandemic to 3,30,14,898. Consequently, India's recovery rate stands at 97.85%. The recovery rate is currently at its highest peak since March 2020. Sustained and collaborative efforts by the centre and the states and union territories continue the trend of less than 50,000 daily new cases that is being reported for 95 consecutive days now. 23,529 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. The active caseload is presently 2,77,020, which is the lowest in 195 days. Active cases presently constitute 0.82% of the country's total positive cases. The testing capacity across the country continues to be expanded. The last 24 hours saw a total of 15,06,254 tests being conducted. Now, India has so far conducted over 56.89 crore cumulative tests. The weekly positivity rate at 1.74% remains less than 3% for the last 97 days. The daily positivity rate reported to below 56%. The daily positivity rate has remained below 3% for last 31 days and below 5% for 114 consecutive days now. The domestic benchmark indices have ended in red today. The Sensex at the BSE declined 287 points to 59,126. The Nifty at the National Stock Exchange sheds 93 points or 0.5% to 17,618. Other key Asian markets were mixed on Thursday. Japan's Nikkei 225 index had lost 0.3% and Hong Kong's Hang Seng index had slipped 0.4%. But China's Shanghai Composite Index gained 0.9%. China's ambitious foreign infrastructure push has saddled the poor nations with a hidden debt worth $385 billion. Research from the International Development Research Lab said opaque deals with state banks and companies under the President Xi Jinping's flagship investment drive, the Belt and Road Initiative, has left dozens of lower-income governments strapped with debt that isn't on their balance sheets. Japan's industrial output fell for the second straight month in August as COVID-19 outbreaks elsewhere in Asia disrupted supply chains for car makers already facing headwinds from a prolonged chip shortage. The rupee depreciated 9 paise to close at 74 rupees 23 paise on Thursday. At the multi-commodity exchange, gold lost 10 rupees to 45,575 rupees per 10 grams. Silver prices weakened by 161 rupees to 58,225 rupees per kilo. Global crude oil prices were marginally lower. Brent crude was up 21% at $78.85 a barrel. The US crude rose 32 cents to $75.15 a barrel. Petrol and diesel prices on Thursday soared. In Delhi, petrol prices rose 25 paise to rupees 101.64 a litre, while diesel prices were up 30 paise a litre to rupees 89.87 paise. The global COVID-19 case tally has crossed the 23 crore mark, with over 23 crore 41 lakh cases of COVID-19 cases have been reported so far. More than 21 crore have recovered so far by COVID-19. COVID-19 has claimed over 47,90,000 lives globally. The United States remains the worst hit nation. So far, over 4 crore 41 lakh cases have been reported across the United States. The death toll in the States has surpassed 7 lakh, with more than 7,13,000 people having lost their lives to the virus. Japan lifts a COVID-19 state of emergency in all regions as the number of new cases and deaths falls and the strain on the medical system eases. This will be the first time since April that all emergency measures are in Japan. All the 19 prefectures, including Tokyo and Osaka, and 8 other prefectures under less stringent measures expire. The European Union's drugs regulator will decide on Monday whether to approve Pfizer's COVID-19 booster vaccine, but it is unlikely to give precise guidance on who should receive it. If the European Medicines Agency gives its backing for the jab, the 27-member bloc would join the United States, Britain and Israel, which have already received the green light to deploy boosters, even though there is no consensus among scientists that they are necessary. The COVAX, that is a program aiming to ensure fair global access to COVID-19 vaccines, is among the contenders for this year's Nobel Peace Prize. Russian President Vladimir Putin offered his Turkish counterpart Tayyip Erdogan to use a Russia-produced vaccine for revaccination after talks on Wednesday. Putin, who ended his 2-week self-isolation, met Erdogan in Sochi for talks earlier in September. The Kremlin press service said that various people in Putin's inner circle got sick with COVID-19. The US and European Union trade and competition officials launched a new forum on Wednesday, joining forces to better compete with China, shield sensitive technologies, boost semiconductor output, and coordinate regulation of large technology firms. The US Secretary of State Antony Blinken and other officials from Biden administration met with the European Commissioner for Competition, Margrethe Vestager. Kishida Fumio has been elected the leader of Japan's main ruling Liberal Democratic Party. As new leader of the Liberal Democratic Party, Kishida is certain to become the next Prime Minister of Japan on Monday in the Parliament, where his party and coalition partner control the House. Kishida made a speech to LDP members of the lower and upper house. He said Japan continues to face crisis and Japan needs to fight against the coronavirus pandemic with a firm resolve. Kishida has expressed the need to hammer out an economic package worth several tens of trillions of yen by the year end. Lava flow remains active from the Camberveya volcano and has already constructed a sizable new lava delta, reaching out perhaps a few hundred meters into the sea. At the active cone, the lower vent continues to produce a lava fountain and feed the main lava flow. Late evening on its 10th day of eruptions, and thousands have been evacuated from their homes since the volcano erupted on September 19, and lava has engulfed nearly 530 houses and several banana plantations. Spain has classified La Palma a disaster zone in a move that will provide financial support for the island. Spain has approved a $12.2 million aid package for La Palma. With climate changes on the rise since years now, France's highest mountain, the Mont Blanc, has shrunk by nearly a meter, the latest report from a team of experts show. Mont Blanc, who is a massive, spans France, Italy and Switzerland now, rises at 4,807.81 meters, 92 centimeters less than in 2017, according to the latest figures from a team of 30 experts who conducted the measurements for the local government. The peak reached its highest altitude at 4,810 meters in 2007. The first edition series of 500 German Chancellor Angela Merkel Teddies is nearing completion. Soon after the bears are ready, they will be made available for purchase. The Merkel bears are being made by Herman Toys, who has been producing bear personalities of every variety, including Barack Obama and the British Queen, ever since 1920. In New York, artist Todd Stone has spent 12 years painting the rebuilding effort of the World Trade Center complex all throughout Silverstein properties. The artist is etching his creativity with a direct view of one World Trade Center on the 71st floor of 3 World Trade Center. Stone's exhibit Renewal at the NYC Culture Clubs shows just how deeply ingrained he is in the lower Manhattan community. His paintings in oil and watercolor document the 20-year rebuilding efforts of the World Trade Center complex. Abstract artist KERRY also paints rent-free in a massive section of 40,000 square feet of unleashed space overlooking the Hudson River and the Statue of Liberty on the 80th floor of 3 World Trade Center. Artist Kerry Irvine lost her sister Kristen Irvine Ryan on the morning of September 11, 2001 when two hijacked planes slammed into New York City's World Trade Center. Irvine was a stylist for Ralph Lauren but had always painted in her spare time because her mother was also an abstract artist. She followed her passion and about 5 years ago, Irvine became a full-time artist. In Brazil, paleontologists have discovered a new carnivorous dinosaur species, RUPEE, that roamed the country some 70 million years ago. RUPEE fossilized remains were found in MONT in Sao Paulo state. RUPEE, a bipedal predator, is characterized by its strong legs and short arms. It was reportedly about 16 feet long and had a strong, rigid tail. The dinosaur's vertebrae and pelvis have so far been identified. The late Princess Diana has been honoured with a blue plaque at her former flat in West London, where she lived before she got engaged to a British heir to the throne, Prince Charles. The plaque is on the building that was Princess Diana's home between 1979 and 1981, a property close to the King's Road in Chelsea. The late princess shared the apartment with three friends who helped to unveil the plaque at a ceremony. France has won this year's prestigious BOCUSE competition. Denmark, the winners of the last edition in 2019, ranked second, while Norway trailed at third. The BOCUSE d'Or competition, also known as the Gastronomy World's Olympics, is back after a year of absence due to COVID-19 restrictions. 24 teams from across the world participated in the event. Back home, cleaning of the iconic Dal Lake is on in full swing in northern Srinagar city of India. Authorities try to restore the beauty of the lake and bring in more tourists. Dal Lake is integral to tourism and recreation in Kashmir. In the northern city of Jaipur, a woman named Nidhi Bharati is adoring her canvas and bringing out her creativity using coffee powder. Now, she says a lot of precaution and precision is required to use the beverage for painting. India opener Smriti Mandhana made her highest score in tests, but the first day of the one-off day-night women's test against Australia was heavily affected by rain in Kerala. India finished on 132 for 1 with Mandhana 80 not out, beating her 78 against England this summer. Teenager Shafali Verma was the only wicket to fall for 31. Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav felicitated railway sportspersons who participated and won medals at the Tokyo Olympics. Congratulating the Olympic medalists for their splendid performance, Railway Minister said that these athletes inspired billions around the world with their talent, hard work and determination. Drag flicker Rupinder Pal Singh, who played starring roles in the Indian hockey team's historic bronze medal-winning Tokyo Olympics campaign on Thursday, announced his international retirement. Olympic bronze medal-winning Indian hockey star Birendra Lakh also announced that he is quitting the game with immediate effect, hours after his teammate Rupinder Pal Singh announced his retirement. English club Manchester United beat Villarreal 2-1 in the Champions League thanks to a goal scored by Ronaldo in the final moments of the match. Now, this is Man U's first win in 2 matches in the league. Robert Lewandowski scored twice as Bayern Munich made it 2 wins from 2 in the Champions League group stage with victory over DYNAMO Kiev. Bayern have now scored 8 goals in their opening 2 Group E games. Barcelona faces a grim future in the Champions League. The Spanish club followed its 3-0 opening loss against Bayern Munich with another 3-0 defeat at Benfica on Wednesday. Bottom of its group, Barcelona suddenly sees itself in danger of not reaching the knockout stage for the first time since 2000-2001. Italy forwards Federico Chiesa and Federico Bernardeschi ran consistently through the heart of Chelsea's defence. Romelu Lukaku was held in check and Juventus convincingly beat the injury-depleted trophy defender 1-0 in the Champions League. IOC announced Winter Olympics in Beijing will not allow foreign spectators. A 21-day quarantine for non-fully vaccinated athletes, officials and workers will be enforced at the 2022 Beijing Olympics. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge held some exotic animals during their trip to Northern Ireland. Prince William held a python and said his children wouldn't believe what he was holding. A Los Angeles judge has set a November date for a hearing about whether to terminate the controversial conservatorship that has controlled the personal and business affairs of Britney Spears for 13 years. The pop star Britney Spears' father controlled his daughter's life for 13 years. Britney Spears has been struggling for years to get free of the legal arrangement. She did not take part in the hearing. A taping of the Broadway musical about Britain's Princess Diana will premiere on Netflix 1st of October before it debuts on the big stage. Diana the musical was filmed without an audience with 9 cameras over the course of 4 days. The production chronicles Diana's courtship and marriage to Prince Charles all the way through to their eventual divorce. Diana the musical is now scheduled to open on Broadway on the 2nd of November this year. Major film stars and an Oscar winner celebrated returning to packed-out cinemas at the Zurich Film Festival after 2 years of disruption due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Actor Daniel Bruel is a leading member of the jury that will decide who wins the main awards at this year's festival. And Ridley Scott's upcoming directorial, The Last Duel, is set to release in India on October 22nd. The film is a gripping tale of betrayal and vengeance set against the brutality of 14th century France. The first full trailer for Sardar Udham, starring Vicky Kaushal in titular role, was released today. The biopic revolves around the life of the late revolutionary freedom fighter Sardar Udham Singh, who assassinated the Lieutenant Governor of Punjab at the time of the Jallianwala Bagh massacre in Amritsar, Michael O'Dowd. Gangubai Kathiawadi, starring Alia Bhatt in the titular role, and Ajay Devgan will release on January 6 next year. The film is directed by Sanjay Leela Bhansali. Bollywood actor Ajay Devgan's upcoming film Maidan will release on June 3rd next year. The film is inspired by the true story of Indian football coach Syed Abdul Rahim, who coached and managed the national team from 1950 until his death in 1963. And that's all in Express News for today. Until we meet again, stay safe, follow COVID-appropriate behavior, and do stay tuned into DD India for the latest on news and updates. Thanks for watching.